Welcome. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful framework for transforming not just your finances, but your whole life. And it's all based on the timeless wisdom of the philosopher Jim Rohn. So let's jump right in.
So, we're kicking things off with this huge foundational idea from Jim Rohn himself. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Now, it sounds pretty simple, right? But really understanding what this means, wow, it could completely reshape your future.
Here's what he meant in the real world. On one hand, you have working on your job. That makes you a living. It's essential. We all got to do it. But there's a ceiling. On the other hand, you have working on yourself. That is what can make you a fortune. So focusing on your job earns you a wage, but investing in your own growth is how you build real, lasting wealth.
So how direct is that connection between your personal growth and what you earn? Well, let's take a look at your income's true ceiling, and you'll see why, ultimately, it's all defined by you.
Here's the core principle. Your income will almost never exceed your personal development. I mean, sure, you might get a lucky break, right? A temporary spike in cash. But if you haven't grown to match that new level, your income will probably shrink right back to what you can actually sustain. Your personal growth sets the ceiling.
And this brings us to a huge roadblock for so many of us. Let's talk about the real reason people get stuck. And I promise you, it's probably not what you think. Getting this one little shift can change everything.
You know, it's so easy to blame things outside of ourselves, isn't it? The economy, our job, where we came from. But this whole philosophy challenges us to look inward. So if those aren't the real problems, then what is? Okay, here it is. This is the crucial mindset shift. The common excuse is a lack of money. We hear it all the time. But the real problem, it's a lack of ideas. This is a complete game changer. It's not about the resources you have, it's about your resourcefulness and the quality of your thinking. There's this perfect little story from Jim Rohn's life that just nails this point. He once complained to his mentor, a man named Mr. Schaff, "I just don't have enough money." And Schaff's reply was profound. He said, "That is not the problem." He explained that the real issue was a lack of ideas about how wealth is actually created. In this framework, ideas, they are the true currency.
Okay, so if ideas are the solution, where do we get them? How do you generate the kind of thinking that actually changes your circumstances? Well, let's look at 3 super simple keys to unlocking new ideas.
And honestly, it's way simpler than you might think. We get a powerful little toolkit with 3 daily habits. Read, listen, and observe. That's it. These are your engines for generating those life-changing ideas.
Let's start with reading. And hey, you don't need to become a bookworm overnight. Just 30 minutes a day is enough to get the ball rolling. The key is to read stuff that's positive, challenging, or insightful. Anything that pushes your thinking and gives you a new perspective.
The second key is to listen, and specifically to listen to successful people. You know, one of the best investments you can possibly make is to simply buy lunch for someone who is already where you want to be. Ask good questions, and then just listen. Really listen to their ideas. The third key is observation. And it's all about the difference between sight, which is just seeing with your eyes, and insight, which is seeing with your mind. Use your eyes to see what successful people do, but use your mind to understand why they do it. That's where the real lessons are hiding.
So once you have all these ideas coming in from reading, listening, and observing, what do you do with them? You have to capture them. Think of your mind as a factory that makes ideas, not a warehouse that just stores them. So write every single idea down in a diary or a journal. This frees up your mental energy to connect the dots instead of just trying to remember everything.
All right, a notebook that's jam-packed with great ideas is a fantastic start, but it's only half the battle. Now we have to turn those ideas into reality. Let's explore how we get from just knowing to actually doing.
To build that bridge between a great idea and a real-world result, you need 2 critical things. Think of them as the 2 engines of action: discipline and self-motivation. So, let's break down discipline. It is not about tackling some massive, impossible thing right from the get-go. It's much, much simpler than that. It's just the ability to control yourself and follow through on small, manageable tasks. It starts small.
And here's how it works. You start with small, easy tasks. Then you master them just by being consistent. Each time you do that, you're building your discipline muscle. So that way, when the really big challenges in life show up, you're already trained and you're ready to handle them.
And that other engine is self-motivation. Here's the hard truth. You can't just wait around for someone else to come inspire you. What if they never show up? You have to be your own motivator.
You are the one who's responsible for taking what you've learned and putting it into action.
So we have the ideas and we have the engines for action. Now for the final step, committing to the process. This is the part where your life can actually start to change, starting today.
A really key part of this is to stop looking for shortcuts. Don't try to cheat the system. Instead, your goal should be to understand how things really work, the fundamentals of success, of finance, of relationships, and then to master them, no matter how long it takes. You've got to respect the process. And this brings us to the most empowering message of all. The day you want to, you can change your entire life. Think about that. Change isn't about luck or circumstance. It's a matter of choice. It's a decision you can make right now.
So we're going to end with this powerful question, one that puts all the responsibility and all the power right back where it belongs, with you. If you don't change, what will? The answer, of course, is nothing. The choice and the opportunity is all yours.